Hello and good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are, if this is live or archive. My name is still Ian and this is Bars and Bells. Join me today in this practice for our bar exercises, some balance exercises, and to ultimately feel that pleasant exercise burn that we can get from using those small muscles like our calves and our toes to the bigger muscles like our glutes and those abs. We'll start today in parallel with a little bit of a foot warm-up, and from there, first, second, and explore our hips at the bar next. For most of today's practice, I have my hands on my hips, arms in the first, or hand on a bar. Use that balance aid as you need, and let's get going on that foot warm-up. Extending those hips forward, pull off the floor to the demi-point, point, and then flex over the foot. Go back to the point, follow foot, push the heel down to extend the hip. Repeat for repetitions here as we pull up and point and gently flex over the toe and point and ball of foot and down. Alternate to the other side, ball of foot, point, flex, point, ball of foot, hip extend through. Pull off the ground to that demi point, then the ball or the tip of the toe to the flex, to the point, the ball of the foot, and down. Working on that articulation. Same thing from our first position. Pivot on those heels to turn out, and same thing. Pull up, point, flex, point, ball of foot, heel. If this is too fast, feel free to slow it down and work on those repetitions to the ball of the foot, to the point, to the flex. That's probably a toughie. To the point, to the ball, to the heel. We'll do two more each side. Ball, point, flex, point, ball, heel. Slow it down as you need to maximize that articulation as we point, flex, point, ball, heel. Step out to that second position and same idea here. Transfer the weight over one leg. In this case, I've chosen my left. My ball of the foot is still on the floor. And now for 8 repetitions, I'm going to pop the toes, connect. Pop the toes, connect. 3 and 4. And we have stiff knees, straight extended hips, and using the toe strength to politely burn the arch and to say hello to the calf muscles there. That's my 8. From there, I'll tendu in. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So set up over one side, ball of foot down, and then pop toes. 1 and 2. And we're going to 8 here. That's 3. Making sure again that the hips are staying forward. 4, 5, and find the way to use the strength of the arch and the toes to strengthen the balances and the hips of your body. Pull in. Wiggle that out. We're going to go to our bar here, do a nice little hip circle, rond de jambe perhaps, and we'll come back to work on more articulation. Here, I'll just step out to the side using that balance aid, and then I'll switch to the other side for the other leg. Dorsiflex the foot, so kind of a modern dance foot, not a ballet point yet, and hug center as to bring your foot towards the outside of the standing leg hip. Then, externally rotating in the hip, we'll open that inseam forward, turning the inseam down, and I'm trying to reach out of that hip towards the baseboards and the wall out the back. From there, we'll turn in, hugging or adducting in the hip, and then flexing forward to bring 2 feet underneath the hips. Same thing in reverse. Extend to the back, open up out of that hip socket, nice and control, bring it around to the front, and then think a butt cheek extension of the hip to bring the leg back. Repeat one more. Hug center, cross that midline, turn out of the hip. Low legs are just fine. We're rolling around in that hip socket, reaching to the back, hugging the center line, and then flexing the hip underneath. One more time out to the back, hip extension, open up to the side, keep the knee straight, the work or load on the hip, and then butt cheek forward to bring the leg back. And we're off. We're going to switch sides to the other leg here. Same thing. Pull the foot to shin, forward, try to cross that midline, and then open up out of that hip. Nice and slow. Turn the hip socket in as to hide the inseam as I'm reaching towards that baseboard and the floor joint, and then pulling the hip flexion forward. From there, extend the hip back, turn out of the hip, dorsiflex or pull the foot to the shin here as we slowly navigate that circle back to center. And again, butt cheeks extend forward to bring the leg back. For one more time, hug center, like crossing the midline, and then externally rotating in that hip as we open. Keep the knee straight, keep those hips level, and nice and control. Say hello to the hip socket or the hip holster. Pull that leg underneath. For one more time, we'll go towards the back. Then let's open up out of that hip again. Nice and slow to the front and then back. We'll come back to those hips, but first, let's get those feet going too. We'll come back to that parallel position, arms in a first or brava, forgive me if I'm getting those names wrong, position. From here, extend the hips, transferring weight forward, and find your first toe balance for today. Hold for time, soften those elbows, palms facing the belly, hold for a couple extra seconds, and then slow and control on the down. Now heels connect, let's pivot to that first position, and same thing. Arms soft, holding that big beach ball, push down to go up, and hold that first balance for about 8 seconds again. At the ankles, we're making sure those knobby ankle bits or the malleolus are pushing forward and hugging center. Take time to return to the ground. Fondu out, find your second or ground position here. Maybe change those arms out to more second styled arms, and then press down, find the balance. And again, at the ankles, we're trying to push forward, but keep those pinky knuckles down as well. From here, we'll get those heels to connect, pointer fondu, close, and then the little shake it out. We like to integrate our forward fold in today's practice, so I'll start facing sideways here. Get the head neck into a little bit of an extension looking up. And then start by tucking the crown of the chin, the crown of the head as the chin goes to the chest, and then slowly flex forward. Keep the hips stacked over the ankles. You could do this against the wall to provide nice feedback, but take your time to flex. Then walk out to a nice high planks position. And in that high planks position, let's just cue the position and add tension in a second. The hands are wide open, gripping fingertips white. Elbow pits, the blood donations face forward. Shoulders are pulled down, but you might push the floor away just that little bit. The hips are higher than you ever thought of in physical education or working out to this point, making sure that the ribs and hips stay connected and the glutes squeezed. Hold for a couple extra seconds. This is to talk about the fingertips screwed in, blood donations forward, lock in the shoulders, nice chin tuck, hips up higher than you ever thought, and then nice and slow, take your time, pedal the ankles as you need, and then let's stack back up through our fold. We'll do our first set of plies. We'll do 4 repetitions of a first position plie or squat, and then our second position after. On the 4th repetition, we'll try to add that toe balance into the equation. So first, position, pull the heels together to allow those knees to bend out to the side. Hands hips, hands side, anything that feels good for you. Pull the heels together to create that diamond shape, and then push the floor away to go up. And pull down, we can incorporate arms if we wish, and then push to up. Down as we pull out, and then push down to go back up. And one last time, we'll reach down and out and keep going so hard into the floor that the heels might lift up. We can hang out for a 4, 3, 2, and then push down that the heels connect first before you stand up all the way, and then come together in that straw. From here, we'll fondu out, go down. Same thing, 4 repetitions, hold the balance on the 4th. Pull the heels together as we descend in that squat plie, and then push energy down and out to come up. We're staying between 2 panes of glass as we travel up and down here, and then press down to come up. 2 more repetitions. Pull that energy in, and then push that energy down and away. And for 1 more repetition, pull in. When you can't go any lower, could you then maybe gently try to find those toes by lifting those heels. Hold for time. Heels down, drive through to stand. Point, fondu in, close, shake. Let's go back down the floor, high tension plank. We could get to the floor other ways too. This time, lead with your face. Lengthen out that spine. Don't let those hips move. And at some point, you'll have to flex through. Carry yourself down to the floor. Walk forward, high plank position here, and let's go for a 10-second hold. 10 seconds holds of pulling the floor together, squeezing your butt, packing the shoulders, bracing the core like you could take a punch, and for 5 more seconds, do all that again. Bum squeeze, abs tight, pulling down, and soften those knees. Relax for 1 second. We're gonna do that one more time. Screw in those hands, lifting those knees, high planks position, pack those shoulders. If you're unfamiliar with our plank standard, check out our basics video series. And for 5 more seconds, we're crushing tension as we can for 3 and 2. And then nice and slow, we'll walk back up. And again, that flexion to extension, lifting through. This next set of drills, the fondu, sticking to those basics. If I get those names wrong, I'll continue to research, but here we go, that fondu. Our favorite and least favorite ways to do fondus from our ballet instructor were the slow ones that we articulate the foot. So what I'd like to do here is, on a standing leg in parallel for firsts, where can you reach the front foot keeping contact with the floor? That's it for me. Then where could you reach where the ball of the foot contacts the floor? And then finish with the toes. Then pull down to the ground. My balls of feet or the knuckle line, callus line is touching. And then as I pull, the heel connects and I extend my hip through. Same thing, just a side profile. So from standing tall on my other leg now, where could you reach that the foot could stay flat? Then where could you reach that the balls of the feet could stay on the floor? And then could you finish with those toes? Then connect the ball of the foot and pull the full foot back onto the floor as we extend our hip through. 2 more each side in an alternating fashion. Where can that leg get out front, standing nice and tall on the standing leg? And then use the floor and pop those toes, just like in the warm-up in our second position. Then pull the foot down, connect the full foot with a heel drag underneath. Full foot, where does it go? Then use the ball of the feet next and finish with those toes in a point, and then pull and down and underneath. Last one each side. To the front, to the point, pop the toes, here and down. Keep going, I just miss not seeing you here. So here we go, one last time. We're gonna use the full foot, then the ball of the foot, and then the toe, and then ball and heel. Let's pivot to our first position and try the same thing as we go to the side. So using my right leg as the mover, stable on my left, where does the full foot get? Then where can you get the other way, that fondu, and then finish with the toes to reach just a little bit further. From there, pull the foot inclusive of the heel back under. Little weight shift, and same thing. Where does that foot reach on the ground? And then pop toes out to the side. And then connect the balls of the feet, pull the heel down and under. There will be a little weight shift here as you go to the other side with a full foot, to the ball of the foot, to then our point, and then connect all the way back. Sweat that slow stuff. Here we go. Full foot. Where does our full foot reach? Then the balls of the toes. Point, connect, and pull. One more time each side. Full foot to the ball of the foot, to the toe point, and pull back underneath. One last time. Full foot, ball of foot, to toe point, to ball, to heel, and under. Let's do the same thing to the back. It's gonna be this big for me personally. I recommend we think about a nice small range before we get into a beautiful attitude or arabesque out the back. So standing tall, where does the foot stay flat as you reach to the back? And then where can it get with the ball of the feet? And finish with those toes. Then curl under the toes, connect that full foot under as you pull from that hip flexor on the front forward. Alternate to the other side. Hips forward, straight legs as much as possible, and then again use the foot to end up in the point, and then flex over toes, connect back to the floor, and then flex the hip forward. Other side, 3 totals, 2 more each, as we use the foot to point, and then roll over the toes as we flex back under. Use the foot, push off the floor, finish with your point, straight legs, over toes, back under. And then one last time, use the foot articulation here, finishing with toes, flexing over and pulling. And last time, same thing, out to the back, pointing with the toes to finish, and then flexing under and over to get back under. Whew. Almost an en-croix exercise there, fronts and sides and backs. Maybe we'll work on the musicality of that as we get more proficient. But here we are doing our plank again. So get to the floor in a way comfortable for you. Here I'm doing that nice forward fold as per our ballet first position here. We could go forward, leaning forward, hips stay in that same position, and then nice and slow, we can flex the spine. And then here we go, in our high planks position. Hips higher than you ever thought in phys ed, and crush some tension, but make it look effortless, just like the grace from the ballet. Here we go. We're gonna breathe over top of that tension, and then just soften those knees. Create that tension by gripping the floor and working strong from the core out. One more time, same thing. High planks position, pull the hands to the feet, have a little light shake there, squeeze your butt cheeks, brace your core, and feel a super connection to the floor. Then rest that tension, come back up in our forward fold, and making sure again that we're vertical here as much as possible, and then stacking up from the bottom to the top. We have one more exercise on the bar, and it's my kind of favorite exercises and Lauren's least favorite. She likes the quick stuff. I love to sweat that slow stuff. So here we go with our last exercise of the day, the adage. In center with no balance aid, or use the balance aids like a chair or a kitchen counter for the last exercise of the day. So pull up to your retire. Check. Does that feel okay? If that's all good, we're gonna hold the leg out there for 4, 3, 2, and then slowly bend. Now open that knee to the side, and same thing. Keep the knee where it is, keep the toe pointed, and then again, reach out to the side and hold for 4, 3, 2, slow in. Close the center, repeat once more each side. Knee in the same place or higher, and we'll point the toe and hold for 4, 3, 2, slow in, pointing toes. From the hip, we're gonna open up to the side, and then nice and slow, look for that extension as we continue to get tall for 3, 2, slow bend in, close the center, and as you press down, connect those toes to the floor and grow tall. Pull up to that either coup de pied at the foot, we can do the same thing down low, or towards that retire position at the knee. Hold your balance, knee in the same position, and then nice and slow, we'll extend and hold. And slow flex. Keep the toe point, keep the hips forward, knee at the same height as we slowly extend. On this side, I think I need to level out those hips, point those toes, and nice and slow back in. Always looking for ways to improve, and make it specific to the hips. And again, nice and slow, we'll extend to the front and hold for 4, 3, making sure we're breathing, and then in, and the last one to the side, knee stays in the same position, and then nice and slow, extend those hips, point and hold for 3, 2, slow knee bend, bring it to center, push down, and relax. Thank you very much for following along today in this Barre plus Balance equals Burn exercise program. My name is Ian from Bars and Bells. Please subscribe on YouTube. Visit our website at barsandbells.com to become a member. And thank you for your participation in class today. I continue to have fun sharing online with our kettlebells, our bodyweight, and our bar, and look forward to doing so again in the future. Stay strong, take care, and have a great day. Goodbye.